Which MBTI personality type is the follow the rules by the book type? But before I can answer, please consider subscribing to the channel so Chris Roberts finally releases Star Citizen and we can all move on with our lives instead of watching our family members get stuck in his pipe dream. And hit the alert bell so that you can stay up to date on like when I go live and whatnot. That being said, what's up, Eco Hackers? I'm C.S. Joseph, here to answer your questions on Jungian analytical psychology and the four sides of the mind. And the source of today's question is Shania Husky. And let's take a look, shall we? There may be several, but the ISFJ comes to mind. Perhaps also ISTJs and ESTJs. These are all the Guardian Traditionalist types. Ooh, we got someone from the CSJ community on this one. This is dope. ESTJs make great school teachers. ISTJs make great librarians, secretaries, and even computer scientists. And ISFJs make the best soldiers. The way I understand it, with a high level of SI, introverted sensing, you have a strong focus on the past, and traditions are a big thing. Accurate. I don't know so much about ESFJs. They're also Guardian Traditionalists, who maybe you can add them to the list. True. As for all the other types, you have the Artisans. They are probably somewhat a rebellious bunch. ESTP, ESFP, ISTP, and ISFP. They will probably burn your rule book and write their own. Well said. The Intellectuals, which are ENTJ, ENTP, INTJ, and INTP, live in the future and prefer to optimize systems rather than following your arbitrary rules. Preach it, bro. ENTJs care a lot about optimized systems. Can you prove that your rule book is optimized? Isn't it obsolete and really nothing but wasted paper? Ah, music to my ears, good sir. Music to my ears. I don't care what else he wrote. I'm upvoting as quickly as I can. INTPs are so focused on truth that they don't care about rules. They just consider you to be stupid if you wave your random rules in their face. As an example, Albert Einstein's discoveries caused science to have to rethink its whole mathematical foundation, accepting non-Euclidean geometry as a more correct alternative. Someone abiding by the rules couldn't have come up with those theories. Preach it. As for the idealists, ENFJ, ENFP, INFJ, and INFP, they don't give a damn about your rulebook, and sometimes they do, if it suits their purpose. John Lennon, who is an INFP, is a great example of an idealist just being damaged growing up with strict rule system. Wow, well said. As for INFJs, the movie Good Will Hunting features a damaged INFJ and his troubles with the establishment. Oh, love it. Martin Luther King, ENFJ or INFJ, he's an ENFJ, is a great example of an idealist defying the system. Mahatma Gandhi, INFJ, is another, and some also identifies Jesus of Nazareth as an INFJ who did the same. Well said, sir. And Kelly Russo, lifelong student of behavior. ISJs like to follow the rules of society, especially ISTJs. SI dominance means they like doing things the traditional way, the beaten path, basically. The FE of the ISFJ sometimes makes them want to follow the rules without being a good person, than the hard and fast by the book. I kind of disagree with that. Like, for example, my ISFJ mother-in-law, who's ENTP focused and a little bit more pragmatic than the typical ISFJ, is willing to break or bend the rules when necessary, especially dealing with, my wife or ESTP daughter, who consistently forces that issue, which honestly it's healthy for her mother, so good on her. Anyway, I'm not really going to continue with this. There's really no reason. So there's kind of like two answers. What MBTI personality type is the follow the rules by the book type? More than anyone, it's definitely going to be the ISTJ. Hands down, more than anyone in terms of rule following, rule enforcement. And the second one is going to be the ESTJ. And like the ESTJ is like very project management oriented and whatnot. But ISTJs, this is one of the reasons why they're the most successful doctors, or at least not successful, I say most common. Most common doctors. They're also the most common lawyers, most common CPAs, accountants, etc. Because it's all about rule following. And ISTJs, from their point of view, it's like, wow, I just follow the rules. That's all I have to deal with. And they're like, this is easy. Who cares? I just read a bunch of things and follow the rules. That's all I got to do with. And they make money they just make money following the rules. And that's why they're attached to those kinds of businesses or ways of doing things, or those walks of life for their career, etc. This is what ISTJs are all about, because they're the best rule follower. Don't ask them to do something to go outside the rules. They're probably going to be pretty insecure about that and very scared. They're always going to say, well, that's a liability. I don't want to go to jail. You always hear them saying that all the time, because they're always trying to reduce liability. They're always trying to increase safety and reduce risk whenever possible, because to them, risk and risky behavior is as a result of following the rules. Now, that being said, ISTJ out of all of the types is the follow the rules, by the book type, absolutely, with second place being like ESTJ, for example. However, that's not to say that 50% of the types prefer to follow the rules over just being independent and making their own decisions per se. And that comes from being affiliative. Affiliative types are so focused on doing the right thing versus pragmatic types, which are so focused on doing the best thing, the best way of doing something. That's pragmatic, right? And sometimes the best way to do something is not following the rules, is not doing the right thing, is not doing the good thing. Sometimes the best thing means you have to harm other people to get the best outcome, or break all of the rules to get the best outcome, right? So affiliative types, which are all of the SJ types, also known as the guardian temperament, and all of the idealist types, also known as the NF temperament, right? These types, these two temperaments, they make up half of the types. So 50% of the types out there are affiliative. 50% of the types out there are trying to do the right thing. 50% of the types out there are all about following the rules. Now, some of those affiliative types follow the rules less than other ones. The ones that follow the rules the most are the guardians. The ones that follow the rules but don't do it as much as guardians are the NFs, right? So these are most particular. Out of the NFs, NFPs follow the rules far more than the NFJs because of how traditional they can be. But at the same time, it's kind of up to interpretation. That's a little bit of conjecture because you have to solve for cognitive focus, right? If you don't know what cognitive focus is, you can learn all about cognitive focus with a journeyman membership or initiate membership to watch more of season 18, which talks about cognitive focus. You can do that at csjoseph.live/members. Anyway, folks, the bottom line absolutely is that the MBTI type that is follow the rules by the book is the ISTJ type. I mean, no one's better at paperwork or financial management than them. This is why ISPs could really benefit from having sexual relationships with ISTJs so that the ISTJs can protect them from their own irresponsibility, because ISTJs are at least on paper, the most responsible and have the highest potential for responsibility and personal responsibility out of all of the 16 types, much to the chagrin of the SPs around them who actually just want to break the rules with them. And sometimes the ISTJs will go along with it, but not often. I mean, unless you want to randomly drive through a neighborhood and abduct a cat and then drive around with said cat and then come back later and return it. No one does that, but somehow it happens.
I do.
If you'd like a chance at your question being answered on this channel, please post it on Quora and tag me or leave it as a comment below. If you want deep dive lectures on this science, on personal growth, career development, parenting, or sexuality, please visit csjoseph.live/members and grab an apprentice membership so you can get access to our premium lectures. Anyway, folks, with all that being said, I'll see you guys tonight.